Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to BipolarLines, your lifeline for honest, unfiltered conversations about loving someone with bipolar disorder. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Laura, and thanks for being here. Together we share our experiences with you, and also each week we dive into the messy, beautiful truth and hopefully some practical skills that have helped us so that we can help you.
Yeah. So to our OG listeners and to any new ones, if our show speaks to you, please be sure to like, subscribe, follow us on whatever platform it is that you listen or watch us on, because we are on the YouTube. You can also join our Facebook group, BipolarLines Pod. It is a private group and it's a safe space where you can post anonymously and get feedback, ask questions, essentially build a community, right? That's what we're trying to do there.
Absolutely. All right, so today's topic is really on when you have emotions too, as a caregiver. So our emotions don't disappear, but maybe they have to wait. And how do we navigate that when we feel like our emotions and feelings are being invalidated while a person is actively in their illness? What do you think about that, Brooke?
I love that topic. And I think we have to also touch on when they're not in an active episode, because both things matter.
Yeah, so in and out.
Yeah, in and out. Yes, but before we dive into that, as per usual, let's give some updates. First of all, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yay! Welcome to 2026, everybody. Did you have a good Christmas?
Wonderful. How about you?
Perfect. Good. It was grand until I got sick on Christmas Day. Yeah, the evening of Christmas Day.
No.
I think my Dayquil is wearing off. But anyway, we had a great Christmas up until then. We just got back from a trip to a cabin with Jeremy's family for a couple days. Went well. There was a lot of downtime and it was a big cabin, so there was a lot of space, which was magical.
Good. Yes. I saw your TikToks where there seemed like some nice background.
Yes, it was very beautiful area. Yeah, and speaking of TikTok, I think I've talked about this maybe once or twice. I can't remember, but I am starting to post again.
Brooke has a new resolution.
Woohoo! Yes, I'm starting to post again because I'm using the things that I know how to do, like using a social media manager type situation to help me stay on track and not feel immediately overwhelmed and just not post, because that's what I do. So I am on 3 for 3. I didn't start on the first, I started on the second. So I'm 3 days in and I have posted every day. Proud moment.
Wow, I am very proud of you too. I don't hold myself to that standard, but I do try to be as consistent as I can be. Let's put it that way.
I love that.
But I also don't have ADHD, so
yeah.
I'm not going to let a month and a half go by where I'm like, crap, I didn't post.
That was me, like a half a year. It's fine. But yeah, no, if I do it every day and they're short videos, then I can build a habit. And that's what I'm trying to do. Build this habit.
Love it.
Yes. All right. Let's dive in. The topic of
emotions
and feelings.
My update.
Shit, I thought you did. It's been a long night.
It has been a long night. My update will be quick. I did say Christmas.
Take your time.
Cody's birthday is actually tomorrow.
Snap.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Cody.
He normally goes always, since he's been a child, he goes snowboarding. My daughter calls it snoreboarding because she has apraxia of speech.
Love it.
I think it got into my vernacular. Anyway, he usually goes snowboarding on his birthday, but Colorado has been so dry. I feel like the ski resorts right now really are still only dealing with, they can artificially make snow, and it's not as great to board on. It works if you have to, but it's been so dry. It's nuts. Like today was 62 degrees. Yesterday was in the 60s. It's winter in Denver. It's really crazy. So anyway, he's not going to be able to go to do that. His truck is in the shop, and that always worries me because truck issues have in the past, I wouldn't say triggered mania, but they certainly don't help it because he perseverates on his truck needs to be fixed and what he needs to do, and it's always been a thing, but it doesn't seem to be a problem right now, so knock on wood. Lots of wood around me.
Yep. Knock on all of it. Both hands.
Appreciate that. Yeah, so I feel like it's been a relatively quiet New Year, which is a good thing.
It is a good thing. It is definitely a good thing.
Yes.
Well, hopefully, what's he going to do for his birthday then? Or does he know?
Well, my mom, I feel like is having some health issues that I need to go to a doctor visit tomorrow that she's going to. And so I normally let him take my car since his truck is in the shop, but I feel like I have to go do that. So anyways, I bought him some gifts and he did take off work, just
okay. Good.
have his birthday day. So I don't know. But hopefully,
We'll see.
yeah, we'll see.
I love it. Okay. Well, happy birthday, Cody. That's fantastic.
Yeah, thank
Not
you.
fantastic about the truck. His truck's in the shop. My transmission went out on my car, so I'm not driving my car. Yeah. Happy freaking New Year, y'all.
Life, adulting.
Yes. Oh goodness. Okay. Let's talk about feelings, emotions, and taking the back burner in both capacities, right? So when the person's in the episode and then when they're not. Do you want to start?
I mean, I will say that when we got this comment in our Facebook group, and if you're not part of it, it's BipolarLines Pod on Facebook, and it's very active, actually. And I do feel like we have really insightful, not only questions, but also people now who are able to offer advice beyond me and Brooke. So
Yes.
if you're looking for that, I'm doing that plug, and it's free, obviously. You can post it anonymously. But I think that, I relate to it so much every time we get it. And I have a hard time responding to those comments because on one hand, I do feel the same. I definitely feel like whether he's in an definitely when he's in an active episode, my feelings and emotions take the backseat. Always. In terms of me saying it to him. So I get a therapist, I have other outlets that maybe writing, maybe journaling. It's not that I bottle it all up, but it's not going to be an outlet of him. But then certainly I have felt times like that when he's stable, quote unquote, where I do feel like if I bring this up, like this might trigger him. And so I do hold back. And then there's a piece of me that's like, well, that's not fair. I shouldn't have to always hold back what I am thinking, feeling, wanting to express. But at the same time, I feel like I'm on a balance, right? Like you put these little balances on weights exactly on a balance. And it's like, well, am I going to add too many weights that tip it over? And I don't want to do that either. And so then I guess for me, Brooke, I do prioritize his, unfortunately. I don't feel like it should be this way. Maybe you have some better advice, but I do feel like I do prioritize his mental health always, whether he's in a mood state or not.
Okay. So I'm going to dig a little bit, okay, before I give you advice. All right. So is that still true that you prioritize him, his feelings, and preemptively what hasn't happened yet when you're upset by something he said/did to you?
Well, actually, no. If he's not in a mood state, I do feel comfortable bringing something up. And then, depending on the response, I guess I gauge it from there. So I do always try. And typically it is successful. Even if and by successful, I don't mean within the next 5 minutes. Sometimes I might bring something up and it's within the next 24 hours, we're able to get it resolved.
Sure.
Yes, but I will, no, when he's out of a mood state, you're right. I will bring it up.
Yep. That's what I thought, because, I mean, unless it's something like significant that is triggering, I think that it's fair to say that you'll allow some space to exist after whatever happened before you bring it up, but you're bringing it up in a manner in which that he's capable of receiving.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. You're right. That's true.
Okay. And that I think is really important to the listeners to recognize, that we can't sit in this space of, well, I can't bring this up because I know he's going to be triggered, because he is always triggered every time I say something that is negative about him or about something he did. Number one, that's unfair. And number two, that's manipulative on their part. And I'm talking specifically when the person is not in an episode. Okay.
Mm-hmm, right.
If the person is constantly saying, when they're stable, you're going to trigger me because you're talking about whatever. Okay. Drinking, for example. I can't talk about this. You're triggering me. Or I'm going to go drink. Or, okay. And they're stable. That's manipulation. Let me be very clear. Okay.
Agree.
So you should have the ability or create the environment in which you can have that conversation with your person and figure out how it is that they can receive negative information that you feel towards them, right? Because it's not comfortable. It's not like, ooh, I feel like I'm gonna have a party because my person thinks I'm an asshole. No, it's not that. Duh, right? But there is a very clear difference in your approach. If you approach the conversation to address your feelings in a abrupt, rude, dismissive, angry way, it's highly unlikely that they're going to receive it.
Yeah.
it's highly likely that they're going to defend themselves and justify and get or pissed at you, you know? So my advice would be twofold. Take the time you need to process the anger out so that you can address them in a way that they can receive it, right? That's the first one. If you haven't yet figured that out, how to have the conversation where you can address it in a way that they'll receive it, have that conversation before you have your next argument. Have it when you're both in a neutral state, right? Like you're not upset, they're not upset, nothing's happened. And that's the best time to have that conversation because you're not bringing in or harboring extra feelings, right? So you know your person, you know how to ask those questions. But to me, I would ask the question of, so I've not been doing a great job of trying to communicate how I felt about whatever has happened in the past. And I think I need to ask you what it is that I need to say or how I need to say or what I need to be mindful of when I do come to you to express those emotions so that you can hear me, because I want you to hear me. I want to be heard. I want to resolve it, right? That's what I would do. That's piece number 2. What do you think, Laura?
Yeah, I was just thinking of a real life situation with us, which is it's not even necessarily a negatively emotionally charged issue that I'm having, but I just like a platonic hug. I like them. I like them from certain people. So, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know why I'm like this, but I'm not a platonic hug from even an acquaintance or even someone I know well. You know, I'm a speech therapist, so clients I've had for years. That's not gonna do it for me. Like, I don't want. I mean, I'm not gonna not receive it. I will receive a hug like that. But like when I just want to like melt into someone, there are a very select group of people, very
Sure.
few, under
Sure.
5, that I feel safe to do that with, and Cody is one of them, and he just gets so excited and has to sexualize it. And I'm like, I really need this from you. Like, I really need it. And so at first, you know, and that's not even an emotionally charged request.
Right.
So
Sure.
he received it just fine and then never honored it. We're still in the same pattern over
Okay.
and over and over again. And, you know, so I had to find different ways. And I finally found a TikTok that expressed how neurotransmitters are actually different when you get a platonic hug from a loved one and what that creates in your body. And somehow the science of it all, now I'm getting platonic hugs. But I guess that's what, as silly as it sounds, that's what's going through my head when you were saying, like,
Yeah.
you know your person, you know how to communicate with them. And I'm like, well, yeah, I thought I knew how to communicate with him. And he received something like that just fine, which wasn't a negatively charged topic, but he wasn't hearing me.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you watch the TikTok or did you send it to him?
I watched it and then was like, well, this is a scientific reason why I want a hug like this from him. And then I sent it to him. And then after that, he was like, I have to do better at this. I really have to do better at this. So.
Got it. Okay. Because what you just described is how he took your request for a platonic hug was rejection. And he has ADHD and we have significant rejection sensitivity. That makes all the sense in the world. So getting the description that came from not you works for him. Because now he can't like feel rejected by you.
Because he realizes it's a scientific thing.
And it came from somebody else's mouth.
Right, yes.
It wasn't you. You know, like
totally.
You were the one that he would like to be Velcroed to 24/7, you know? So I think that was a brilliant way to send that to him. Not that you connected all those dots, you know, beforehand.
No, I didn't. I was kind of like, how can I communicate this to him? Because this is really important to me and he's not hearing me. Like, he's not hearing how important this is to me.
Yep.
Yeah,
but he also communicates to you some in TikToks, right? Like he'll send you sweet TikToks every whenever.
Yes, sometimes it's so funny, now the age of TikToks. Even my son is not on TikTok. He's not allowed to be on TikTok yet, but he's on Instagram Reels, and he'll send me, like, how much I love my mother. Like, send this to your mother if you love her. Like, I'm like, has TikTok become a love language? Like, there used to be the 5 love languages, right? And now we have a 6th one.
6th is TikTok videos. That's funny. But yeah, trial and error, right? But I think that's actually brilliant. What you just, that whole thing we just walked through, because a lot of times we expect the people we love to give love and receive love, to give information and receive information in the same way we do. Like if I just say these words to you, I can understand them and I need to tell you them. So like you should be able to receive it and understand it. But that's not always the case. So what you
Right.
did was actually send him what you needed in a video format, and he receives it because that's actually what he sends to you.
Oh my God, I never thought of it that way. Where that's how he is communicating with me, what he doesn't do verbally with himself.
Exactly.
So when we think about that, that does make me think, because I said that was obviously not, I mean, yes, I wanted it, but it's not an angry, emotionally charged
Right, right,
situation.
right.
Most of the time, that's what we're in. We're feeling extremely hurt. We're feeling extremely understood. We want to feel validated. We want them to know, that we wanted an apology. You just made a comment to someone the other day where I still want the apology. I still want his full, I'm sorry, I can't believe I did that to you. I still want that. And you had said your opinion was going to be unpopular because you don't need that. Because why do you need the person who hurt you to be the person who puts you back together? And I have heard that advice before. And you just said, ultimately, well, I'm not going to put words more into your mouth than what I already paraphrased. But essentially, I was like, no, that's not an unpopular opinion. That's just an evolved situation. And you've gotten there. And you even admitted that over time.
Over time.
Yeah.
Over time. It took a long time to get there, but that's where I am. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know. My brain left me for a second, but it's like, yeah, you have to figure out what you want, but feeling heard and feeling validated about whatever it is that's happening, that's necessary, because you all are interacting day in day out. And if like you forgot to take the trash out for the 17th week in a row, like I'm gonna be pissed, and I would be like, can you please just take the trash out? You've forgotten for 17 freaking weeks. Like, and it's not going to come across in a sweet and vulnerable way. But this is what I'm talking about. If when I say that to my husband and it's been 17 weeks and I'm pissed off and he responds the same way back to me that he responds in any other situation that I have tried to change up my approach, soften my approach, give him all the time to prepare, buy him chocolate so he can eat it while I'm, you know what I mean? Like that is manipulation. There is a reason that his tone and his response is not changing.
Yeah.
It's a choice.
That is such a good point. Actually, I have to add on to that with another thing that happened to me recently that you actually were part of, because I was like, Brooke, help. I'm going to lose my mother effing mind.
Oh, yeah.
Which was, we are both responsible equally for drop off, pickup of the kids. And he has a certain days, and I have my certain days, and I'm in the office certain times, and he's responsible for picking up, especially my special needs daughter, during those days. And she had changes of schedule that included cheer, staying after school, wasn't coming home on the bus, had to get picked up at a certain time. And he knows this was like consistent. It was like every single Tuesday you're supposed to go get her at 4:15, and that is normally when she comes home from the bus, is between 4:10 to 4:15. So two things would happen. One, she either would not be home from the bus when he expected her, and that caused him to think, uh-oh, I'm supposed to have gotten my daughter. Or two, he literally just completely still spaced it, and it was me getting calls from the school that then had to call him. And I was like, I didn't feel like it was manipulative. And I had tried to communicate it in so many different ways. And I was even telling him that, like, I don't know how else to do this where you actually do this. Like, you have got to do this. And then so I texted you and you were like, and I used to do this. Your suggestion was like, what about like, have you done alerts on a calendar? And you guys are both in, I'm like, oh my God, I used to do that. I don't know why I stopped doing that. And I did it. I haven't had a problem with pickup since. It's got on his phone. It's got an alert 5 minutes before he's off to get her.
Yep. So true. So yeah. And in that situation, like, I mean, but did he respond to you the same way every time he forgot? Was he like, oh my God, Laura, this is ridiculous. No, why didn't you tell?
Right.
No.
No, he was equally, he knows he's supposed to be responsible. Maybe one time he joked Like maybe one time it was like, well, you didn't remind me, so how was I
Yeah,
supposed to remember? And that's your
right.
job. I'm like, oh, really? It's my job. Maybe it was like a half joke, half not joke. But for the most part after that, it was like, God, I don't know why I'm forgetting this. God, I don't know why I can't remember this.
Yes. So
Yeah.
he allowed you to communicate to him your feelings about him forgetting. And it wasn't like he was telling you it was your fault. He wasn't deflecting. He wasn't saying you were ridiculous for expecting that. He was hearing you. He validated that you had every right to be upset about this. And like he acknowledged, I don't know why I keep forgetting it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very separate response than never actually allowing you to feel heard. Right. And that's where that manipulation comes
Totally.
in. Yeah.
And that's when I know, I mean, he's not in a manic episode or depressed episode, so he's not in a significant mood state. I mean, maybe he's in some sort of, less severe mixed episode at the point in time these might happen, but definitely that's when you say like in and outside of an episode. If he's actively in an episode, expecting him to be responsible or remember anything is completely absurd. And it's because, as we've both said and pointed out to people numerous times, their frontal lobe is offline. Cody's frontal lobe is online. It just
It's online for him and him alone.
right. Like, so it's still there. When he's manic, it's offline completely. And so there would never even be an expectation like, why are you forgetting? I would expect him to forget when he's
Yeah.
manic.
And I would just not ask him to pick her up, right?
Nope.
Like he'd be like,
Nope.
okay, well that's not
Nope.
going to work because
Yeah.
you don't want to put her in a vulnerable spot of being left at school for too long or and not knowing what to do or
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, her, I'm sure the teachers or whoever called, but yeah, I mean, you just take that responsibility away, and it's not because it is, and it's not. This is the weird situation, but like, it's because like they can't handle it and they can't be responsible for it in that moment, but not forever. Like when they come back and they're at
Exactly.
baseline, then they have to resume those responsibilities. The
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing that I see from a pattern perspective, because that is how my brain works,
Love it.
it's the snowball effect. Okay. So if I don't feel like my feelings are heard when my person is stable, and then over time, it just keeps getting worse and I don't feel heard, I'm never validated. I don't want to hurt anymore. Okay. So me, what I choose to do, and this is again the trend that I see, and I'm pretty positive I did the same thing for a period of time until I realized I can't do it all. But the trend is, okay, I'm tired of feeling hurt. I'm tired of not feeling heard. I am tired of, feeling like I have to do it all or it doesn't get done. So the response to that is you try to do it all so that it all gets done. But what does that breed?
Resentment.
Resentment.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're finally at a point where you're like, F this, I can't do this, I can't do this anymore, you're not actually discussing the singular events that he should have been contributing. You're actually snowballing
Yeah.
and you're rolling that down the hill real fast. Okay. And if you're the person that's trying to hear a snowball coming at them, it's not going to go well. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
you kind of have to mitigate your own, what is it? It's hypervigilance. It's also like, the walls that you're putting up to protect yourself. You kind of have to mitigate that and recognize like if I do those things to not try to feel hurt anymore, I'm actually making it worse for me.
I don't
Because
even know if for me, if I would call it a wall as opposed to stuffing it down. And so it's like
okay,
stuff, 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 stuff. That's how it feels like to me. And this is a separate but related topic that we were talking about earlier with boundaries. And what I feel like a big mistake that people make is that they don't set boundaries early. So they don't mitigate those feelings. They just keep stuffing and stuffing and stuffing. We make all kinds of excuses and they might be valid ones. Well, he has a mental illness. Well, his illness did it. It wasn't really him. I'm separating my person from the illness. But like if you never focus on you, if you're always worried about them and them only and never like just taking a back seat, I think that's what we said the title, like when I feel like I have to take a back seat all the time, that relationship, at least from a partner perspective, is not sustainable.
it's not. It's just not because two
Yeah.
people are in that relationship,
Yeah.
not one, not one. So yeah, great point because you can't always take a back seat. And if that's the way you feel, that's problematic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would encourage you to be curious about those feelings because you can only make excuses so much until it starts weighing on you and your mental health suffers or your physical health suffers. You're going to get more headaches, more aches and pains. You may start retaining water. You name it. Okay. Like you will suffer, right? But I would also encourage you to, when your person is at baseline, to have those conversations about sharing the load, right? Whatever that load looks like, you cannot be 100% responsible for every single thing that has to happen in order for your household to work. Kids are not, animals are not. You should not be doing it all. I don't subscribe to gender roles. Never have, never will. And my husband better contribute. I will not do it all. For a period of time, it was easier for me to clean my house by myself than to ask him to do it. But that is not sustainable, right? Because it's like, okay, I'm over here cleaning my house, busting my ass, and he's in bed watching a video. No.
Yeah.
No. So I had to express those to him, like, hey, I thought this was going to work, and maybe it did work for a while, but it doesn't work anymore. And I need you to get up and I need you to do the things. And he's like, yeah, but I can't. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't? And he was like, I can't. It's an OCD executive dysfunction type situation. And I'm like, that's great. We'll do it together. Because if we do it together, he's not as hard on himself, if that makes sense. So anyway, my point is like, if you are in a relationship, this is in my opinion, if you are in a relationship with somebody that continually chooses to remain the victim of their illness, even when they're stable, I would encourage you to take a hard look at what and how that relationship is serving you or benefiting you. Because that's not healthy.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, I think what it takes me back to, what I just want to add is that, a lot of times I like to compare it to like a physical illness. And so, if it was something physical, that's like a no-brainer. Like if your husband got in a car accident and was a paraplegic, that's going to be a completely separate situation.
Yeah. I would be an ass if I was like, go do the dishes.
Yeah, exactly. And so sometimes we make that comparison though, because we feel like people easily leave a person with mental illness where they wouldn't in that situation. So that's the only reason I'm bringing up, not because I'm saying but with a mental illness, like at least we can speak for bipolar 1 with psychotic features. That's both of Brooke and I's husband's diagnosis, and we're very confident those are the diagnosis. That is true. At least for a diagnosis like that, if you are actively in treatment, taking medication under the care of a doctor, and your medications are therapeutic for you, your person can absolutely get to a point where they are stable enough to be considered at baseline. Cody never feels like he's at baseline. He will argue that. He will always say he's never in remission, even though one time he never had an episode for 10 years. That's fine. That's not what I'm talking about. Right. He can still have those internal struggles. He does have a chronic illness. It is a mental illness, but that's what I think, Brooke, you're saying.
Yes.
Is that with this particular illness, and maybe that's not true of every mental illness, but at least for bipolar 1 with psychotic episodes, both of our partners have shown, and I just told you this today, I think that we have a collective experience now of 40 plus years living someone with bipolar 1 disorder with psychotic episodes. With the right treatment, they can absolutely go back to a stable version of themselves. And when they are in a stable version of themselves, it is not being an asshole to expect them to be your partner again.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. And also, they should want to be your partner.
Then it's manipulation, and you might be dealing with something else.
Exactly. And people who choose to perpetually be the victim of their own circumstances or illness, they also work in patterns. That's a whole nother ballgame, whole other story. I don't want to push that into the universe, but my point still stands that like, it is not your job to walk on eggshells. It is not your job to tiptoe around their reactions to their big feelings. It is their job to learn the skills, the tools, take the meds, be in therapy. It is their job to manage their own reactions to their big feelings. We cannot care more about how their mental illness is managed than they do. They have to care.
Yep, and Cody would say that too. I think if he were sitting here, he would agree with you 100%. It can't be all on the caregiver. It can't.
It can't, and it's not sustainable. And if you're in that spot, get curious, ask questions, take notes, think about it. You will get to that point where it's like, okay, I can't do this anymore. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. No judgment here. So yeah, that's a good topic.
It was. I mean, long story short is that our emotions and feelings matter too. And I think that just to wrap it up, it is that you don't have to take a backseat forever. During times during this illness, you might need to, but it doesn't have to be forever. And if it is forever, like Brooke said, get curious and ask yourself why.
Yep. Love it. All right. Welcome to 2026. All right, let's see. We drop episodes every other week on Wednesdays. We are on YouTube, BipolarLines Pod, like we mentioned, the Facebook group, BipolarLines Pod. Laura is on TikTok at the BP Spouse. I am on TikTok at break_the_stigma.
We have a new website. It's just a WordPress right now. So bipolarlinespod.wordpress.com. But
love it.
Subscribe to that list. We're going to hopefully have some good things coming for 2026. So definitely subscribe.
Not hopefully, we will.
Yeah.
We have a mission, and we're going to accomplish it for sure, because we have big ideas, big wants, and big hopes. And 2026 is the year to make some changes. Thank you all so much for being here, for showing up for your person, for showing up for you. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.